The family of a Burnaby woman, who was stabbed to death last year is waiting to find out whether the court will intervene in a plea bargain which allowed her killer to plead guilty to a lesser charge. Tammy Murray was killed inside her apartment back in September of 2007.
Tammy was an escort. That was her job. None of us liked what she did for a living, but that's what she did. And unfortunately, because of what she did for a living, she tended to attract parasitic individuals around her.
It was exactly such a person who took Tammy's life here at her home. A life that began as many of ours did, full of innocence and hope, surrounded by a family that loved her. Some personal tragedies got the best of her, and Tammy wound up in a life of prostitution. A life her sister Tanya never saw her escape. That chance was taken away from Tammy when she was just 38 years old.
Like, I mean, how do you bring yourself to do something like that? Okay, you stab somebody once. How do you keep going? I mean, whoops, one time. Okay, you're angry. Okay, maybe 5 times. You know, how do you keep going? Past 15. 16, 17. And then cut her throat. Wow.
I tried to identify the body, couldn't, because the amount of swelling that had happened to the face. I couldn't say 100% it was her.
Aaron Hickey was originally charged with second-degree murder, but last month he pleaded guilty to manslaughter. Murray's family claims the fact she worked in the sex trade factored into the decision, which allowed Hickey to strike a deal.
That deal saw Hickey plead guilty to the lesser charge of manslaughter. Crown Counsel made the deal behind closed doors. They gave Tammy's family 3 reasons for pleading down.
Number 1 was Mr. Hickey had been intoxicated at the time of the offense, which would render his capacity to understand what he was doing minimized. The second reason she gave us was that Tammy had allegedly, and this is according to Hickey's statement, had called him a punk, thus introducing the element of provocation. And the third reason was because she felt that she would have a difficult time generating sympathy with a jury because of what Tammy's profession is, or was, I guess.
What the Crown did generate was outrage. Public sympathy was on Tammy's side, along with anger that any deal had been struck.
They used her low social status and her distasteful lifestyle as a justification to reduce the charges facing her killer. And that's all it comes down to, because there is no other reason for them to drop these charges, and to do it in a secret manner.
Wallace Craig agrees. He was a criminal court judge in Vancouver for more than 20 years.
You should ask yourself the question, where is the plea bargain struck? That is, it's a deal made, it's a bargain between the criminal and the Crown, both having representatives, defense counsel for the accused and the prosecutor for the Crown, and they engage it either in the hallways, huddled together, or more likely in this case, in a private office somewhere. No transcript, no court reporter, nobody knows what they say.
Tammy's family lost their final appeal in Supreme Court to overturn the Crown's deal with Hickey, leaving them at a legal standstill, but their struggle was not in vain.
It's another step in the learning process to give victims their rights back and to hold the government accountable, and particularly Crown Counsel, because they have a tendency to backdoor deals and tell the victims after the fact.
Why have we arrived at a point where victims feel so badly, feel so aggrieved by the system that they want to have a say? You only get a judicial system that's good as the general public around it, and right now we don't have a society that's as caring and considerate as it used to be.
I couldn't sleep at night knowing that we didn't try. Like, nothing we do at this point is going to bring her sister back, and I just want to see that somebody's held accountable for her death, because her death did mean something. And it's a story that should be told, and it should be told in court. Like, she deserves her day in court to have the story of her death told, right?